The major things you have left in the semester are the final, which will look very much like the midterm, and the James Baldwin essay. So um, this is going to be basically about a 2 to 3 page paper you're writing for me, based on an analysis of The Fire Next Time, on a book of essays written by James Baldwin. In fact, the book has one very short essay at the beginning, which is a letter between Baldwin and his nephew, and the second essay is more of a kind of autobiographical, historical, journalistic piece on the civil rights movement, his own life, Nation of Islam, etc. Goes through a lot of that different stuff. What's the deal? How are we? How am I going to have you write this essay analysis on this book? Well, basically, I want you to do a couple things. So, um, when the paper should look like this. It should open up with an introduction, basically kind of summarizing how you're going to approach your paper. Then go into just a kind of a short summary of the civil rights movement. To do this, you can use your textbook and even Baldwin's book. So just basically set up the context. To do that is maybe about a half a page, 3/4 a page, maybe even a page worth of material. Then go into an analysis of Baldwin's work. And from that point, I think one of the main things you have to look for is just the way he analyzes the racial dynamic in the U.S. Remember, this is on the eve of the civil rights movement, of Dr. King's dream speech. Malcolm X is getting popularity. So all that's kind of in the background here. So, depending on what you pull out of your reading, I think analyzing the language of consciousness, particularly racial consciousness, is a really big point in Baldwin's work. He doesn't really give. I mean, he gives his nephew advice. I think definitely that short essay that begins the book is probably what you want to spend most of your time on in the analysis, because I think there's a lot of really interesting parts there. But to flesh out some of it, you may require to pull out quote citations from the later essay. Yeah, and when I say what advice does he give, there's nothing like really concrete, like do A, B, C, and D, but there's a lot of language about like giving people time, understanding why things are the way they are, or even the sense of like the power of love, and trying to like fix the tensions and the anger and hostility that historically has been part of these relationships, especially ones that racism has really harmed these type of relationships in American society. Finally, probably as you're moving into page 3, that's when you can start wrapping up the paper. And wrapping the paper is just a simple concluding thought. I mean, you could pose a question, but in general, you kind of just wrap up what you went over in the paper. Nothing, too detailed at this point. You want to do all the details in that middle section, the body of the paper, the analysis. And I do mean show your work. In other words, if you have the book, or hoping you have the book, that you would cite from it. So direct quotes and even like paraphrases. Just do a parenthetical citation is all you're going to need for that. Okay. So that's it basically on the paper. I just want to give you a quick short summary of how to write it. I'll be quite honest with you, with the pandemic and the home quarantine. Generally, the way I'm grading is a lot more. I'll be a lot more flexible in that way. But I just would ask you. I think it's really Important topic, really good book. I'm a big fan of Baldwin's. I hopefully this is just a an opening up of his work to you. There's just the way he writes essays, poetry, fiction. It's just some good stuff. There's some really good. I mean, some of them are the lecture I already that you're going to be looking at. There's some videos there, but there's been good documentaries lately done as well on Baldwin. You may want to check out. So, good luck.